Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for November 11, 2023, suspect in custody as a cops probe a series of bomb threats, says DCP Bailey. A suspect is now in custody as a hospital and a court building were among the latest institutions to be affected by a series of bomb threats, says Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey on Friday. DCP Bailey confirmed that 71 institutions were impacted between Thursday, November 9 and Friday, November 10, with a hospital and a court building among recent targets on Friday. All other targets were educational institutions, including Denby and Lennon High in Clarendon, Old Harbour and Greater Portmore High in St. Catherine, and William Knibb Memorial Trelawney. He further stated that the Jamaica Constabulary Force continues to lead the multi-agency investigation and maintain a dialogue with its international counterparts. DCP Bailey gave the reassurance that the JCF, with support from its law enforcement partners, will investigate all reports received, as every threat is treated as serious until proven otherwise. He is encouraging citizens to take the necessary precautions to protect themselves, but maintained that there is no need for panic, as all the evidence gathered so far indicates that the threats are a hoax. Man killed during gun attack at a St. Catherine construction site. A man was shot dead while working on a construction site at the Silver Sun Estate in Innswood, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, Friday afternoon. The deceased has been identified as the 37-year-old Kamoy Beckford, otherwise called Ras, a construction worker from Mansfield Avenue in Homestead in the parish. A suspect has been held in connection with the incident, the police said. Information reaching the news indicated that around 1:05 p.m., Beckford and other workmen were on the construction site when he was pounced upon by a group of men. The men, police said, pulled firearms and opened gunfire on the now deceased, hitting him in the upper body. The men then ran away, but the suspect was chased and apprehended. Police rushed to the site and found Beckford lying on his back in an unfinished house. He wore a red sweater, black shirt, blue jeans pants, and a pair of black socks, and had what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head and upper body. The suspect was handed over to the authorities and escorted to the Spanish Town police station. Beckford's body was removed to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was confirmed dead and later taken to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. Gun and ammo seized in Constant Spring. Following a police operation in Akiwaka, Constant Spring, St. Andrew on Friday, a man was taken into custody while a pistol and several rounds of ammunition were seized. Reports from the police are that about 6:30 a.m., lawmen carried out an operation in the area in which one Glock pistol with 15 9mm rounds of ammunition were found. An additional 34 5.56 rounds of ammunition were also seized. His identity is being withheld pending further investigations. Man killed and another wounded in Clarendon. A man was killed and another shot and wounded in Race Course, Clarendon on Thursday evening. The deceased is 25-year-old Hakeem Thompson, otherwise called Logan, a fisherman of Banks in the parish. A 35-year-old man has been admitted in serious condition. According to the police report, Mr. Thompson and the other man were walking in Cuffles district when three vehicles, including a white Toyota Probox motorcar, pulled up at their feet. Men alighted with guns and started firing at them. They were chased into nearby bushes and shot. Mr. Thompson was pronounced dead at hospital and the other man admitted. The news was informed that both men were on the police's radar for involvement in various criminal activities, including drugs, murders, and shootings. Prosecution makes about a turn in case of woman accused of killing cop husband. A day after the prosecution in the case against Casey and Blair, the woman accused of killing her husband, Constable Damian Blair, agreed to accept a lesser plea of manslaughter. The Crown reverted to its original position on Friday morning in the Home Circuit Court. Mrs. Blair, who is fit to plea but has mental health challenges, was charged with murder, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and unauthorized possession of firearm. The prosecution told the court on Thursday that it needed additional time to have further discussion with Mrs. Blair's attorneys, Tamika Harris and Genoja MacDonald, in relation to the firearm and ammunition charges. But when the matter was called up Friday morning, the prosecution told the court that the case file was sent to the DPP for further assessment. The court was told that Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, is to appear in court next Tuesday to indicate how the prosecution intends to proceed. Mrs. Blair was further remanded until November 17. No one exempt from acts of violence, says Senator. Opposition spokesperson on justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley, said the series of bomb threats issued across Jamaica on Thursday and Friday is a signal that no one is exempt from the acts of violence producers. Senator Scott Motley also denounced the Monday's killing of a man and the 2 young boys in Salt Spring, St. James.
And the signal which has been sent by this bomb hoax is a signal to us across all Hillel, AISK, Lennon High, Denby High, Ascot, Portmore. It touches on all social classes. And sometimes there's a kind of divine way in which messages have to be brought to us. And I found that this bomb host coming right after this slaughter was perhaps the way to say to the entire country, you're not immune from these things, Your children are not protected. It's either one way or another way. So you all need to come together to do something.
Another curfew for volatile Dunkirk in Kingston. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Dunkirk in the Kingston Eastern Police Division. The curfew in the Brownshead Town community started at 6 p.m. and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Sunday. The area has seen a flare-up in gang-related violence in recent weeks. A curfew was imposed in October following a triple killing, and on Wednesday a man and his nephew were shot dead in the area. The boundaries of the curfew are north along Cumberland Avenue and Lincoln Avenue from Upper Elliston Road to North Avenue, east along North Avenue from Cumberland Avenue to West Avenue, south along Windward Road from West Avenue to Upper Elliston Road, west along Upper Elliston Road from Windward Road to Cumberland Avenue. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises for 48 hours unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Court of Appeal quashes conviction of cop for unlawful wounding. The Court of Appeal on Friday quashed the conviction and a 2-year sentence for unlawful wounding handed to District Constable Dean Hyman. The appeal court also ruled that he be acquitted. Hyman was convicted in the Manchester Parish Court on February 11, 2021 and is sentenced to 2 years imprisonment at hard labor. It is reported that on December 8, 2016, the district constable was in conversation with an 18-year-old woman at a plaza in Christiana when his service firearm was discharged, resulting in the woman being shot and wounded in the thigh. In a subsequent statement to the Independent Commission of Investigations, Hammond asserted that the shooting was accidental. In her statement to Indicom on December 20, 2016, the complainant indicated that she and the cop were hugging when she felt him use the gun to touch her on the thigh, after which she heard a sound like a gunshot. But at the trial, the woman testified that the policeman was about to step away at an arm's length from her when, while being verbally abusive to her, he took his firearm from his waist, pointed it at her, crooked his finger on the trigger, and shot her. Following the trial and the conviction, Hyman on March 4, 2021 filed an appeal on the grounds that the verdict was unreasonable and against the weight of the evidence. The trial judge erred when she rejected his no-case submission, thereby depriving him of a fair trial. His appeal also argued that the sentence was harsh and manifestly excessive in all the circumstances and cannot be justified. At the hearing of the appeal, the cop's attorney Norman Godfrey was granted leave to rely on 2 additional grounds that the trial judge erred in law when she rejected the submission that the Indicom investigator did not have the capacity to initiate prosecution of Hyman, and that the judge also erred in law when she accepted the complainant's evidence without any explanation from her for the proven and admitted inconsistencies. In their decision handed down Friday, the judges of the Court of Appeal agreed that the verdict is unreasonable and is not supported by the evidence, and there is a risk of a grave miscarriage of justice. They also agreed with the submission from Hyman's attorney that ordering a retrial would only serve the purpose of giving the prosecution an opportunity to have the complainant provide an explanation for the conflict in her evidence.